What is up, everybody? This is a quick little tutorial for Tera, specifically for the console. I'm playing on PS4. It should also apply to Xbox, and I'm going to try to just give you as many tips as I possibly can in the shortest amount of time. I'm just going to start with general tips that apply to every class, everybody, beginner and experts, but then also eventually I'm going to get into a priest build because that's what the character I am. But the first part of this video will just be for anybody, so keep watching no matter what class you are. So the first thing you'll notice on my screen, if you haven't done it already, I've got a third toolbar. I can hold L2 or L1, but I can hold L2 to get my third toolbar here. So if you haven't done that already, just go to System, Options, and then Control, and then just go down to Show Extra Shortcut Tray and just turn that on, and you'll have that extra L2 left trigger. Moving on, so one big tip here that I got for you is if you hit start and you go to Unstuck, if you don't use that, basically what that does, every 30 minutes you're allowed to click Unstuck, and it's just going to bring you to the nearest town or city, and it's always going to bring you to like one of these populated areas like where I'm at right now, where it's going to have a quick travel, it's going to have a flight manager, it's going to have a teleport, it's going to have a trade broker, it's going to have a merchant. So every 30 minutes you can do that. So if you're running quests and stuff and you're trying to do stuff really quick, you can go run a quest and then click Unstuck and it'll bring you right back to the city. So keep using that. Try to use that as often as you can. And also there's a glitch on the console I've noticed where if you're top right of your screen the mini map gets glitched out. If that ever happens to you, if you click Unstuck and it'll teleport you to the city or whatever, but it will fix it. But who knows, it'll glitch again eventually. So moving on, we're going to talk about scrolls real quick. If you go to your inventory and then you go to your consumables, you're going to have these different scrolls. Like I've got 23 safe haven teleport scrolls, scroll of resurrection, but the main ones you're going to want, you want to buy a bunch of these right here. Safe haven teleport scroll. So that's essentially doing the same thing as what I just explained for that Unstuck button, where it's going to teleport you to the nearest like city or town. So let's say you're running quests and you're trying to just run quests as quick as you can. You're trying to level up really quick. You go do your missions, and then you just use the safe haven teleport scroll and you'll warp all the way back to the city and you can turn stuff in a lot quicker. And also I recommend buying the Velica scrolls. That'll teleport you back to Velica, which on here it's it's over over here. So if you're early in the game, I'm assuming you're always coming back to here to do missions. So if you have some scrolls that are Velica scrolls, you can just warp right back to Velica without doing anything else, real quick, level up really quick. Moving on. Okay, so you notice I got a pet here. If you have a pet, look at, he's hungry right now. And because he's hungry, he or she, they're not going to eat, they're not going to pick up items for you. You got to make sure you feed them. So you buy pet treats from a merchant, just a basic merchant. You go buy pet treats from them, and then you got to go to your inventory. Pet treat. Oh, I'm blind. Okay. It's right on top. Oops. So we're going to use this pet treat here. Sorry about that. X. And now my pet's not hungry anymore, and now it'll pick up stuff for me. Otherwise it won't do that. So next tip, if you're leveling up, you always want to make sure you're going into your inventory and you go to this, if you scroll over to this box looking thing over here, and you're going to constantly be getting different things that you can open up. So let's say, for example, you're a level 30 and you have a bunch of level 22 things that you can open up. You might as well just open them all up and sell them because they're just sitting there hogging up your inventory. And we'll get to your inventory in a second. We're going to tell you how to expand your inventory if you haven't done it already. Here's level 45. Let's open this. Why not? 3 sapphires. You're going to sell your sapphires, sell your pearls. Ooh, got some. Ooh, look at all that good stuff. Alright, so let's keep going. If you aren't using glyphs, you got to be using your glyphs. So you look at my screen here, I got 33 out of 35 glyph points, so I can put 2 more points into my glyphs. You always want to be maxing out your glyphs as much as you possibly can. We're going to throw on back stuff just to keep moving, but so now I got 35 out of 35 glyph points. I'm maxed out. always be putting your glyph points in. You can swap them in and out, you can take them off and put them back on, so don't be afraid to mess with that a little bit. So we're going to get to the merchants a little bit. Right now I'm right next to a banker and a trade broker. So first, if we're talking about expanding your inventory, if you haven't expanded your inventory, you go to the banker. He's a key on the map.
You need my help?
And you go to expand inventory. Now, I've already spent a ton of money, so I can't do it anymore.
Farewell,
so
hero.
he doesn't let me.
You need my help?
But you can also go to the bank.
For the Federation.
And if you want to store some stuff, so let's say I hit, let's say I want to store something here. And so it's not hogging up my inventory, because right now I'm 64 out of 80 inventory space. So let's say we're going to store, I don't know, what the heck, it's this pennant box. Ooh, actually, I should probably use that. Let's store, I don't know, crown and gold. Can I store you? Deposit. Nope. Oh, that's already in there. Well, you get the point. You can store stuff in here, and that way you're not hogging up your whole inventory with like cosmetics and stuff. So I recommend storing like your sunglasses or like something that you're not using but you don't want to get rid of it. So that's the banker, and right next to him we got the trade broker.
An honor.
Don't be afraid to put some of your items on like a broker sale. You can get a lot more money for them. So if you just go in here, right now I got some stuff that I listed. Some of them I put them for pretty expensive. I put the money up 100 gold. And also if you buy stuff, you got to make sure you pick it up from your purchases here. So don't be afraid to list some stuff if you want to try to sell some like golden items or something. And then as we're in the town here, if you're trying to level up and stuff, make sure you're using the teleportal a lot and you're traveling with it often. So, you know, you can always just go to the teleportal and just quick travel somewhere quick instead of going there on your horse. It's a lot quicker. Do that as often as you can. Yeah, it takes a little money, but if you're trying to level up, do what you got to do. So that's most of the tips I've got for just general tips, and now I'm going to try to get into a little bit more specific into the priest, which is my character here. And I'm also just going to kind of go to find some enemies here if I can. And right now, make sure you're using your auto run like as often as you can. If you hold L1 and then you left click, you'll auto run as default. You can change it, but that's what I recommend keeping. But if you're trying to, like, you know, quick travel and do some other stuff while you're quick traveling, maybe text somebody or something, you can just auto run. And I just wanted to find some enemies over here just so that we got some stuff to kill while I'm showing you my loadout. So as a priest, your primary role is healing. You don't really have a whole lot of offense, especially later. Early on, yeah, you'd be killing stuff, but once you run in late game dungeons, you're going to want to be healing. So just to go through my loadout here, my square button is my main heal. It's my focus heal. So you lock onto up to like 5 different people and you hit square again to heal them. And then also I hold L2 and square, and that's going to be my shield, my Kaya's shield, and that'll shield several friendlies around you. So I try to keep my main heals on my square button. So if I hit square, it's my focus heal. L1 and square, it's my little AoE right in front of me, big burst heal, and then L2 and square is my Kaya's shield. And then every time I encounter a battle with the priest, you always want to be trying to use certain abilities to debuff the enemy. So for example, if I hit R1, this is my energy star move, and once I hit this dude with my energy star, oh, I didn't do it in time, but what it's going to do is it's going to give you and all of your friendlies better attack speed. So you always want to be trying to initiate that right away to buff your friendlies. Same with this triple nemesis move. Once you put some glyphs in it, it also debuffs the enemy, where it makes the enemy, it takes down their endurance. which is basically the resistance to damage, so it's a really good thing to use on him. So pretty much, the best thing I think to show you is I'll go into my skills here. And we're going to go through our skills and where I recommend putting your glyphs. So mana infusion, this is definitely something you're going to want to be using that regens your mana. I think late game you might not use this because there might be better skill to get mana regen. But as of now, and I have this mapped to L1 and down on the D-pad, and that's going to regen my mana. It's kind of a slow move. So the next move is Purifying Circle. This is a really good move. So when you're playing the game and you're playing with friends or you're playing with other people, and they're going to show up on the left side of your screen, their health bars, and when their health bar turns purple, that means that they have a debuff on them, and you want to cleanse them. So right now I have up on the D-pad is my cleanse move. That's the purifying circle, and that's going to just remove all harmful effects for up to allies within 70 meters. So if somebody is like slowed or they're sleepy, you can just immediately debuff them. It's very helpful. So moving on, resurrect. If somebody dies, you can resurrect them. Kind of self-explanatory. It's really slow. I have that marked on L2 and up on my D-pad. So if somebody is right in front of me, I can res them if they're dead. But that's super slow. Moving on, we got summon group. This isn't very useful, but you can kind of, if you're like roaming around the world and you can have people summon to you. Not useful. So this is your backstep. Very useful. This is I'm hitting circle button. So this is just this button to escape, and it also damages enemies. So that's just mapped to my circle button. And right next to it is my L1 in circle, which is another evade move. So we'll get to that in a sec. So Velek's Horn, that's something that I believe just the priest gets. Very useful. It just lets me travel to Velika, or Velek. I can just use this and I'll immediately just travel there. Yeah, this is kind of a dumb move. I'm not going to really get into it. It just makes you kind of invisible to monsters if you're trying to travel around and sneak through. Horizon Run, I recommend mapping this. It does increase your speed for a little bit. Only you, out of combat. Not that big of a deal, but I do have this mapped on my L2 and left on the D-pad. 30-minute cooldown, but whatever. So here we go, moving on. We got Prayer of Peace. This is one of those things. Oh no, this is if you're getting attacked by a boss or something, you can use this and he'll stop attacking you. So if you got enemies attacking you, you can use this. I've got this mapped on L2 and circle. So I'll use that here. Boom, now nobody would be attacking me. It's got a 4-minute cooldown. Moving on. Blessing of Balder. So this is a buff for your group up to 30 members. Better endurance and HP regen. So their damage resistance is increased and they're going to regenerate health for the next 15 minutes. Awesome move. I've got that mapped on L1 and right on the D-pad. Next we've got Fiery Escape. Nope, we already did that one. Final Reprisal. This is a combo move that I use. So I'll show you that in a sec. This is a Whirlwind. I've got this mapped to Triangle. And this is my basic attack, R2. Regen Circle, I don't use this very often. I forget what it's mapped to, but I never use it. Shocking Implosion, this is one of my main offensive attacks. So I'll show you this combo here now. So if I hit Triangle, it's going to be my Whirlwind. And then L1 and Triangle, it's going to be my Shocking Implosion. And then L2 and Triangle, it'll be my Fiery, whatever it's called, or something. So Triangle, Whirlwind, L1 and Triangle, and then L2 and Triangle, it's combo, and boom. Let's just finish this guy off. Triple Nemesis, you can hit Triple Nemesis 3 times. Extra damage every hit. Back to our skills here. So we got heal thyself. This is mapped to down on my D-pad. So if I need to heal myself, I'm just going to hit down on my D-pad and I heal myself. 5-second cooldown. Definitely a big move. Always put glyphs in it if you can. I mean, not if you have to, but. And then we've got, right after that, we've got focus heal. This is my square button where I hit square. You look around, you lock on people, and you hit square again, and you heal them. It's a really good move. It's constantly. It's got a really quick cooldown, so I put 2 glyphs into it. I can lock onto 5 targets now, or 4 targets, and I can increase the range. So now we got Kaya Shield. Awesome, awesome move. This is like your bread and butter right here. It takes a little while to unlock, but I've got this lock mapped onto my L2 and square. So I've got square to heal, and then L2 and square to use my shield. And this shield is beastly. It's a shield that you cast it right away, first of all, which is great, and it goes up to 5 group members, absorbs a ton of damage, and it's 12 seconds long. So great move. Put your glyphs in it. I got cooldown and endurance increase. So retaliate, this is basically when you get knocked down, you can just jump back up with X right away. So you don't really need to glyph it, but it's a good move. This move I never use. It's kind of a waste. But if you get used to it, you can be buffing if you're looking for more stuff to do. But it's a good way to just debuff the enemy. Healing circle. I don't use this too often. It's just kind of part of a combo that I use though. When you do a purifying circle, this comes right after it to do a combo. Blessing of Shakan. This is one of those buffs that you put on your teammates and it lasts for 15 minutes. So this is mapped L1 and left on my D-pad. And that combos right into the other buff. So really you should just put that one down in one of your things and it'll combo right into the other one. And it's got a triple combo right actually too. The mana infusion, which will give you more mana. So that's a good move to map. And again, that was L1 and left on the D-pad. Metamorphic Blast, this is an offensive move. I don't use it much. It's one of those offensive moves that, because you're a priest, you don't really use a whole lot of offense, so we're just going to skip that. Triple Nemesis, this one isn't that great right away, but once you can put this glyph on it, it decreases your enemy's endurance by 10% for 12 seconds. So once you can glyph this, you definitely want to glyph this, and then anytime you get into a battle, constantly be using this, and it's gonna help your teammates when they're attacking him. And then moving into Ishar's Lullaby, this is just a sleep move. I don't really use it very often. I never really use it honestly because it puts somebody to sleep, but it doesn't work on like big bosses or anything. So as a priest, you don't really need to use it. But into Energy Stars, really important move for you. You wouldn't think so, but it's one of those moves that you hit it, you want to use it right away in the battle and constantly be using it the whole battle, because when you mark an enemy, it buffs all of your friendlies and it gives them attack speed. So you're all going to be doing more damage if you use this. So make sure you're always using Energy Stars. And I put a glyph in it to make it last longer, even though you don't necessarily need it because you're going to be using it constantly. You could glyph something else if you want to. Here's a Healing Burst. I don't use it too often. I prefer to just use other stuff because this one it's too small of an area and it's right in front of you, so it's too risky. So that's as far as I've unlocked. There's other stuff that I'll be unlocking soon, like this mana charge. I think once I get this, I won't even need to do the other mana move. And I'm sure some of these will be just really useful, but I haven't got there yet. But, I'm climbing my way up there, so, long story short, if you got any more questions, I'll be grinding. I'm on the Felbane server, hit me up. I'm Spiders, my name here is Moonchild, though, on the server. I hope you learned some stuff, whether you're a priest or just anybody. And, take care.